We are live. We are live. Let's see. Give it about a minute or so for some people to jump into the room. If anyone even joins, I don't even know if YouTube is still pushing out any of my content. When you take a 10-day break from YouTube, it's usually tough for you to kind of get back into the algorithm. Um, and I know a lot of things with YouTube have changed since I was last consistently uploading. So it'll probably be a little bit to push. And but I figured tonight would be a good night to go live really quickly. Not session here. So I'm gonna give everyone a couple minutes to just jump in here into the room. And we'll just talk a little bit about some pickups. Gonna share with you guys on this live one of the pickups that is on its way that I recently picked up from an online purchase. One of my all-time grails for the PlayStation 1. Someone tried to guess, I think in the comment section of the video that I put up uh, earlier today, saying that it must be Misadventures of Tronbon. It's actually not the Misadventures of Tronbon. I'll share with you guys towards the end of this live what game it is, but it's definitely a good one. I don't think it's hard to get. I don't think it's a game that you can't like download or purchase from like the PlayStation eShop or eStore, but it's definitely just one of those PlayStation 1 games that I've always wanted to have in my collection. But yeah, so I figured I'd just jump in here. I wanted to do another giveaway in August. I did a giveaway of a $10 gift card for all of the channel subscribers, and then a $25 gift card for all of the channel members. Unfortunately, the channel subscriber that won never claimed his prize, but the channel member that did, when he did claim his prize, so he got his $25 gift card. So shout out to, I think it's Jeremy. Um, so shout out to him. Virgil Wagner, what's going on, man? Up to 44 long box games on the PlayStation 1. That's pretty good, man. I can't lie to you. Like, I've pretty much given up on most long box PlayStation 1 games. I think the only long box PlayStation 1 games I have in my collection at this point are Phil Soma, which is a shooter, and I've also got the Raiden Project, which is another shooter. So those are the only two uh long box PlayStation 1 games that I currently have in my collection at this point. But I'll take you guys through here just with some of what I've been able to get my hands on. And then just talk a little bit about just the collection more in detail. Uh, just picked up 14 a week ago. Was that in a lot? Did you get like a lot of those plays? Like how did you get 14 PlayStation 1 games in one shot? That had to have been a lot that you picked up. Long box at that. I don't even know who still carries those, because those long box PlayStation 1 games just break down something fierce. Um, but I had a few good solid pickups here. You got Dead or Alive Dimensions on the 3DS, Sonic Lost World on the 3DS. So those were two solid 3DS pickups rather. Dexter's Laboratory. I've seen these types of games like Dexter's Lab, like Powerpuff Girls. Like, there's a bunch of these types of games on the PlayStation 1. I typically don't go for these, but this was like, I think $9 or something like that, and it's like really good. So this might actually just be a jewel case swap for me. I actually might swap the jewel case on that with this copy of Spider-Man, which was a pleasant surprise for me. You've got Destruction Derby, which a lot of you guys have been telling me to stream. I wanted to stream some PlayStation 1 today, but the day just got completely away from me, like all the way away from me. Just got tied up doing a bunch of family stuff and just never got the chance to circle back. And so I just gotta kind of have to spend probably the tomorrow morning. Once I go for a good run, I'll come back and probably just kind of go through the game room. Things are a little bit hectic. As you can see, I've got this massive pile of just random camera gear. This is all the camera gear, or some of the camera gear that I used while I was on vacation. And then I've got like a stack of games over there in the corner that I gotta figure out. This PlayStation 3. I gotta figure out what's happening with this PlayStation 3. So there's just a bunch of stuff. I got another PlayStation 3 over there. I gotta figure out what's happening over there. So there's just a bunch of things, a bunch of moving parts that I gotta deal with tomorrow. Um, I'm still trying to get adjusted to Eastern Standard Time. My body is on like Pacific time, which is like rough. Like for those of you who've traveled, that jet lag is fierce. And like sleep just smacks you when you least expect it. Like you don't expect it to hit you. And that thing just hits you like the Smash Bros bat. I mean, you know how that Smash Bros bat goes. One hit and king, you're out of there. Like it doesn't matter if you're on 0%. That's the type of sleep that hits you when you hit jet lag. It's like that Smash Bros bat just smacks you in the head and you're gone. You're out of there. But we got Destruction Derby. I know a few folks have been telling me to stream Destruction Derby and Road Rash on the PlayStation 1. So these are two that I am going to do some streaming. I heard about the music in Road Rash. Definitely want to give this a run. So I will be running these two. And then Shadow of the Colossus. I feel like this is a great game to like stream late at night, but I really got to get that. What's that Elgato? I really got to get that Elgato, man, to stream something like this. Sincere, what's going on, man? How you doing? Chilling. Whenever I see the name Sincere, my mind instantly goes to Belly. For those of you who know Belly, starring Nas, DMX, Method Man, like yeah, it was just that's a good one. Yeah. I also have 52 NES complete in box games. Man, you've been stacking them up, man. You've been really stacking up those retro games. I mean, since we're talking about it, I might as well talk about it, right? So what's going on with my video game collection? Some of you probably have seen it in some of my other videos that I've really been leaning towards just only having Generation 6 and older games in my game collection. Like that's really kind of where that's the headspace that I've been in terms of like maintaining my collection. I really haven't been trying to keep too many of the PlayStation 4 games. I've actually wound up selling a lot of the PlayStation 4 stuff, and I can actually show you guys since we're here on live and it's been a while since we've been on live together. Let's we could go through it. This is really all that's left of my PlayStation 4 and my PlayStation 3 collection. So PlayStation 3 is down here. This is PlayStation 3 down at the bottom. And here's my PlayStation 4. This is it. This is the last of the PlayStation 4. And I don't think I'm going to be adding anything back. From what I've sold. As you can see, it's not a ton of like those mainstream like AAA titles. It's kind of like more of that like off the beaten path stuff. Gravity Rush, Chasm, Prototype, Biohazard, Lovers, just kind of this type of stuff. Really kind of gotten rid of a lot of just like the common stuff that you would see at GameStop and stuff like that. Really kind of scaling back on that. PlayStation 4 is cool. I still love it, but I don't really want to have a huge library of that type of stuff. And then when it comes to the PlayStation 3, I've kind of been scaling back on that as well. Just kind of selective as to what I've kept in the collection. Um, you know, as you could see, just from what you can see there, this is all that's left. I've probably sold, geez, over 100 games easily. My handhelds, I've been saying that I don't want to keep doubles in the collection, but yet I still have three Game Boy Advance SPs. I keep telling myself that I'm gonna mod one of these. I just have not gotten around to it yet. And then, as you guys can see, like I've just been trying to turn some of these shelves slowly from like gaming shelves into like media shelves, like shelves that have more of like movies and like camera gear. So I've got some of my Canon camera gear, this is actually a like new Sony A7S in here, and then down here I've got some of the other consoles. So I mean, like for me, going back to Gen 6 and just really focusing on Gen 6 and older, it's just kind of what brings me joy at the moment, to be honest with you. That's what really excites me, is finding those games that I really, I don't have in the collection yet, that I want to add to the collection, that I want to keep. And even like still looking for certain Gen 4 and certain Gen 3 games. Right before I left for vacation, I think the last couple games that I had picked up was Comic Zone and Earthworm Jim on the Sega Genesis. These were some of like the last pickups that I had gotten my hands on. And this is really kind of what it's been for me. I don't necessarily care to have complete and box Super Nintendo games. Like that just feels like way too much for me. It's just too much. It's too much money. It's too much time. It just takes too much collecting dedication to really build like a complete in box Super Nintendo collection. So I'm still rolling with the loose carts. You guys can see some of the like last loose cart pickups that I grabbed before vacation. You see like Super Metroid, Contra, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, just some, Batman and Robin, just a few decent Super Nintendo titles. And it goes back there. Like there's stacks of like Super Nintendo games back there in the back. And then you guys all know, if you follow the channel for a while, I've been a diehard Sega Genesis guy for the longest. So, I mean, I do have a few complete in box Super Nintendo games, but nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about or anything like that. And that's really what it's just been for me, like scaling back. Like, one of the next videos that I think it's something that I've been thinking about, and really need to write the idea down, but it's really how to have a bare bones collection that includes everything that you want. And I feel like that is going to start to become the new trend. I feel like having a bare bones, only what you want, only what you really are going to play on a consistent basis type of collection is, you might see that start to really become a trend. And you might start to see where like having the massive wall of games is just a thing of the past. Um, Primarily because I think people are going to start to outgrow that style of collecting, and it's just not feasible, I think, for a lot of people. And I think that's why you're starting to see a lot of people start to sell. To be honest with you, I do think that a lot of the selling is driven by the economy. I do think the economy is in a bit of a tough spot. You know, the the resort that I stayed at, um, I was talking to the concierge, and I was asking them if July or August is their busy time of year, and they were telling me that this year was probably one of their most slow years. And I know like a lot of people in the economy are feeling it for sure. So just economically, that hoarding style of collecting isn't going to work. And have I gone through a hoarding phase? For sure. I would say maybe mm, around 2022. I think I probably peaked in my hoarding phase probably end of 2021, beginning of 2022. That was when like the hoarding for me was at an all-time high. I mean, I literally had an entire room just stacked with games to the point where I couldn't even put them on shelves. They were just in boxes. And it was back in 2022 that I realized, okay, this is dumb. Like, I need to start selling stuff. And I didn't start selling a lot of games right away, but I did start to trade a hell of a lot of games away. Like, I remember trading an entire box of video games for one complete in box game. And that's this one right here, Demon's Crest. I think I traded like nearly 100 games, like just for Demon's Crest. And for me, it was just like, I'd rather have a more concentrated, potent collection of just really good stuff than just have boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. So The selling off for me isn't anything new. And ideally, I would love to just have all of my games just be on this one wall. But I think that's going to be next to impossible. Primarily because I'm really not going to be selling anything out of my PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, or Sega Saturn collections. Like, these are going nowhere. I think these games are always going to be in my collection. I'm not getting rid of any of these. And then